You're listening to For Film's Sake with Irving, Twitterless Joel, and Jose. Oh, right, and me, Chris. Enjoy the show. Hello there. This is a new episode of For Film's Sake. Remember to follow us on Instagram for Film's Sake Pod. Also listen to us on YouTube for Film's Sake 1. Chris here, and we've got a dynamite episode that is going to motivate our guys here. So here with me, Irving.
Hi, everybody.
And Twitterless Joel.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be back, as always.
And Jose.
Hello.
We're going to start talking about the thing that everybody gets excited about every year. Well, among many things, but hey, it's the beginning of Summer Blockbusters. And, at the time of this recording, we've got to look forward to the Furiosa movie coming up. So based on that, we're just going to talk about that for a little bit. I know we all know that Irvin is like the most excited about Summer Blockbuster season starting.
That is correct. It is one of my favorite seasons. I would say throughout the entire year. I love it. It's very exciting. I like big films that are very bombastic and all that, but I like those slipper summer hits that you're not expecting that they're going to be hits, and they become like very popular, and very much they have the footprint of what a summer film is, and so I'm very excited to dive in.
And shoot, I mean, I mentioned the sequel to, or it's not a sequel, it's kind of a prequel, the prequel story to Mad Max Fury Road, which is the Furiosa, the new George Miller film of that universe, and that seems to be the one to kick off this whole thing. And damn, what a good one to kick it off with.
I need that film to be injected in my veins. I don't care.
You need the chrome injected into your veins, the gasoline and the
That's correct. With Anya Taylor-Joy, Chris Hemsworth, and everything that George Miller is doing that I have seen in the trailer, right? Because I'm not only referring to what I have read about the people or the critics that have been able to see it. It's just based on the trailer.
Right. Well, most of us have that to go on, but once we see it, that's probably going to be quite the thing. I remember when Mad Max Fury Road premiered. I actually saw it in a special screening because at the job I had at the time, they gave us, we had access to early screenings and stuff like that. And I remember it was an early screening, and it was great. We were all given at the door. We were all given bumper stickers that said "The world belongs to the mad." What do the other guys think of the upcoming blockbuster schedule that's upcoming?
I'm on the same boat as Irving. I think like if you also, Chris, I need Furiosa injected on my veins. Besides George Miller's creation, I need the Junkie XL soundtrack.
Yes.
I want to experience that on the cinema. Also, this is one of the films that is kicking off. Is the kickoff for this summer blockbuster, but there are people also considering this film, the Fall Guy, that premiered a couple of weeks ago. That this is like a summer blockbuster. I watched it last week at the theater, and that film is like a really good film to start the summer blockbuster Uh, it's really good, so entertaining. Uh, so you need to think about that film. Besides Furiosa and every single other one that is coming in
Yeah,
the next couple
maybe
of weeks.
you could probably say the same thing of the fourth Planet of the Apes film, which
Yeah,
which is, has come out with surprisingly good reviews. It's one of those movies that in my in my final shot in our last episode, I said I wasn't excited for it, but as I kind of observed it, I kind of thought this could be one of those movies that could be, better than people are expecting because of lower expectations, I guess. So I think you could say the same
maybe
thing about that.
I wasn't also very excited about Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, but I watched it at the cinema, and man, that was a really good film. So
Yeah.
it's a fun watch, and I recommend it to our listeners, to all of you, if you haven't seen it. So yeah, it's another blockbuster to kick off the summer. I mean, it it started early in early May. So yeah.
Well, you said you recommended it, and we're going to do recommendations in our next segment. I hope that wasn't it for you.
No, no, no. I have another that I really enjoyed it
Okay.
so much. So yeah, that's for
All right.
in coming in some minutes.
All right. All right. Good, good there. So, Joelle, you have been listening to us. What say you?
Well, of course, as most of you, I'm very excited for Furiosa. I think I'm gonna watch it this week also, hopefully. But I'm also very excited for many of the films that are coming this summer. I'm overtly excited with the sequel for 2014's Inside Out, or 2015, I think it was, when it was really the first one.
Right, right.
Inside Out 2, yeah, Inside Out 2, I have really high hopes. I know Pixar has been a little bit rocky these past 5 years. And some people have been even saying that they don't have that same essence than before. But I think they have always been doing the right things. It's just that we have grown accustomed to seeing them always having so much success that when they don't, we think it is a hiccup and a sign of worse things to come. But I think Inside Out 2 um, seems like a very good sequel. I like the exploration of emotions. I think teenagers need that, adults need that,
Hmm.
and I think this is a film that we need right now. So hopefully it will be a big one.
Yeah, and obviously, I'm glad you mentioned that one. Just to kind of name a few of the ones that are coming out soon that you can qualify as that. I mean, there's another animated film. There's like the Garfield movie. Uh, there's which one is it? The fourth Bad Boys film. That's one that's coming out in the month of June.
Despicable Me 4, you say?
Yeah, uh, but both fourth films of their particular franchises, if you will.
Okay, okay.
I don't know if you want to consider uh, Jeff Nichols' The Bike Riders as a summer blockbuster thing because it's premiering in the month of June after about 2 years being delayed, I guess. And I think the two ones that are like the coup de grace of the summer slate are gonna be like the Twisters movie
Mm-hmm.
with Glenn Powell, the uh, Lee Isaac Chung the
Minari.
notorious Minetti film,
Mm-hmm.
and of course the third Deadpool film.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good one. I'm also excited for that one because I'm a big X-Men fan, and I know X-Men '97 is in the minds of everyone right now. Especially Irvin. I know he has a say on this, but I'm also
Yes,
very
sir.
excited
Yes, sir.
For Deadpool and Wolverine, because Wolverine has always been my favorite Marvel character.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just need to watch that one. So,
That should be fun. It should be pretty fun summer. Oh, and I also forgot the A Quiet Place prequel film with Lupita Nyong'o. So that's there on that slate. So,
Yeah.
we're talking blockbuster
Chris,
films, and yeah.
before you jump into the topic, since you were mentioning some of them, I have to mention, I have to say that horror films have always been very successful during the summertime, and
Yes.
some of them have become like actually like very adored and beloved films that are from the summer blockbuster era as we know it. And one film that I am super excited to see this summer is Maxine, which is
Right.
the third
I
part
was
of the
going to
Ty
mention
West
that film
trilogy.
also,
Yeah,
Irving.
I am
Yeah, I'm
extremely
really excited.
excited.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that that
Yes.
could easily become another hit. And I think that if the movie is half as good as the trailer looks like, then I I know for a fact it's going to be a huge hit. So those are my 2 cents because I didn't want it to
Yeah.
forget about the horror genre because I think that it's pretty
Yeah.
popular specifically during the summertime.
Also, trying to add to that for the horror thing, right? There's a film that comes the very next week after Maxine that is called Long Legs, which is distributed by
Ooh,
Neon,
yes.
and that one looks
Yes.
interesting as hell. So yeah, horror's gonna be fun this year too in summer.
Yeah, and Joel, next week, there is a very I've heard that this movie premiere, I think a few months ago in one of these festivals. It's called A Violent Nature. And this movie it's from the
Oh,
perspective of
yes.
the killer. And
I've
that
heard great
trailer,
things of
it's
that one.
bone chilling. So if the movie is as good as some critics have been saying it and it connects with audiences, hey, we're gonna have another hit. So add
I also
that
saw
one to
that
the list.
trailer and it is so bone chilling. I agree with Irving with that film in a violent nature. It's very 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 interesting title is coming next week, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Next week. Hmm.
Yeah.
Next week.
So,
Yeah.
we always talk about that season. It's so many great movies have come out. So I'm gonna put everybody on the spot. Name me one great blockbuster movie that you saw in theaters, in years past that you really loved. Oh boy, that's gonna be a tough one. So name me one. Irvin, name me one.
Chris, what are you doing? Why one?
I'm gonna put you in the
Oh,
spot.
oh man, but why one? I had a list of like honestly from since 1992, I had one film from each summer until up to the year 2000. But I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna go, you know, a little bit back in time. I'm gonna name this movie the I would say like the pinnacle of summer blockbuster films in terms of like how badass this film was. I was young when I went to the movies to see this, but
Yes.
in 1991, I had the privilege to watch Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which was the
Ooh.
number one film of that year. And I kid you not, as a little kid, I think I was in movie heaven. And up to this day, I think it's one of my favorite sequels of all time. I will defend that movie uh, any day of the week. And that's one of the many reasons why I love or why we should never doubt James Cameron. So I'm going to
Yeah.
go to 1991, but this is a tough one, Chris, because I had other
I
titles.
know. I know. I know. You had a whole bucket list, I guess. What say you, the other guys? I'll say mine. When I graduated middle school, I went to see the Sam Raimi Spider-Man film, the first one, 2002. And it was that day, it was a great day, and that was the talk of everybody. The movie everybody was talking about, and it was It was impactful because superhero movies turning into adventurous epic films, and everybody was talking about that film. And then motivated a sequel 2 years later that everybody wanted to see as well. So, in a quick mention here, that's the one I mentioned, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man film. Well, what about the other guys? Joel, what do you say?
Well, I was thinking because I don't have the same problem as Irving, but still, it have been so many summers. So to choose one is a little cruel for me. I was thinking when I was little or something like that. When I go to the cinema during summer, I usually went to watch a Harry Potter film.
Yes.
So many of those are summer blockbusters for me. I have a particular connection with the fourth one, A Goblet of Fire, because that film for me was like the first time that it's not that I enjoy it fully because I have enjoyed the previous Harry Potter films before that one, but that one felt like more connected to me. Like that was the one like, oh
Yes.
my god, this is a film made for me,
There you
for
go.
a teen. So yeah, I think I'm gonna say that one. No one is gonna say that one, so I'm gonna say it. Harry
Oh,
Potter
there
and the
you
Goblet
go.
of Fire. Yeah.
That's a good one. See, special connections individually. That's the important part. And to finish it off, Jose.
Man, when I was 8 years old, that summer was full of very good blockbusters. To choose one is truly difficult. From that summer only, um, maybe to to mention only one of those, I think the movie Wall-E had a very impact on me
Okay.
about the environment. Is the first time when I was a little kid then I was taking the subject matter of the film so serious.
Huh.
That's like uh, I don't know how to say it, but it's a film that impacted a lot of people, even the
Yeah.
grown-ups, to during the time. Uh, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm seeing an animated film, like, but a film for all ages.
Right.
But man, the subject matter here is something to consider: the environment, the ecosystem, to protect the planet. It's a very interesting film. I really enjoyed it
He
being a
was
little
eight.
kid.
You were 8 years old when Wally came out.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
How adorable. I was
yeah.
21.
You were a grown up. You
I
you
was a
you
grown
were
up
understanding.
already.
So let's stay in topic, right? Because I don't think that is something that is convenient.
Okay, no,
Let's just, stay in topic.
we're not gonna stay on topic. We're going to change the topic, but before we change the topic, we'll go to break. So let's go for a quick break and we will be back. And we're back here on For Film's Sake. So we're going to start a segment here. The other guys here have been poking at me, Irving, and and say, let's do a segment or two. So let's start a segment. It's very simple. This is a very simple segment. Uh, what have we watched recently that we would recommend to the people listening to our show? So who wants to begin? Don't all raise your hands at the same time.
I can start. I can start, but you know what? I'm gonna break some rules here.
Of course you
Because
are.
I because I'm not gonna stay quiet because the previous segment had me very, very hyped up. I'm gonna tell you that, no, none of us mentioned this, but I think that Jurassic Park, it's probably one of the greatest, summer blockbuster films ever.
Yes.
And you can add, films like, The Mummy in 1999. You can add, Armageddon in 1998, which I remember like the experience of it. So yeah, and the movie that I'm gonna recommend, it's a good segue because I've been, you know, I love the movies from the 90s. They have something special, whether it was a blockbuster or not. And I've been probably like kind of rewatching a few of them. And I don't know if you have ever seen, and I'm not necessarily talking to the boys here, but for the audience or for whoever is listening to us, I would say I rewatched not that long ago 1996, The Rock, Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, Ed Harris, Michael Bay film, when Michael Bay
Okay.
film was making really great banger of films. And if you have never seen a fast-paced, super like yeah, cheesy dialogue, but so much fun with those three guys who their charisma, it was undeniable, especially Sean Connery. Just watch it. You're gonna have a blast. You're gonna have a blast for 2 hours and 15 minutes because that movie it's nonstop. I remember watching it when I was a little kid, and I fell in love with it. I fell in love with it. And by the way, there is a Criterion Collection version of that film, which I don't own, but it's something that I wish that I could at some point in my life. So I recommend. I did watch it when I was on my way to Puerto Rico, and it was such a blast, man. It was incredible.
See, this segment could help us here in the show as well because I've never seen that movie, so now I have something to add to the watch list.
Okay, you know what? We're gonna have a conversation after we're done here. But yeah, watch it, and
Hey, it's
because
blind spots. It's blind
you're
spots.
gonna love
Hey,
it. Let me tell you why you're gonna love it, Chris. Because
To my
that
watch list.
movie,
Oh,
yes.
that movie has that movie has Hans Zimmer score,
Okay.
and it is a banger of a score.
All right.
So
Noted.
yeah.
Noted. What were you saying, Jose?
I'm just like you, Chris, right now, adding The Rock to my watch list.
Ah, there. So Irving's gonna,
Another blind
you
spot.
know, Irving's gonna have to dispose of two dead bodies now.
Make
So,
that free actually. So
Irving's
I
gonna
knew,
hate
so
us.
I knew
probably
it.
so
I knew
probably
it.
Oh
for next
my.
episode, just to
I
let you
knew
know,
it.
people, just to let you know,
Okay.
Because
people, for next.
these are
Okay.
the artsy group of boys that doesn't
Oh,
watch
come
summer
on.
blockbuster films.
I just
They
want
Come
just
to let
watch
you.
on.
films
Oh.
that the budget is $5 million and down,
You
and all of that.
you
Come
know
on.
us better than that.
Come
I
on.
just
You know
Expand
us
that
better than
talent.
that.
I just want to let
Well,
you know, people, that if for next episode you see or you hear, better said, right? If you hear only Irving's voice, you know what happened.
it's gonna be a monologue, and it's gonna be a monologue because you guys need to watch a little bit more 90 films that are action packed films. No, I'm joking. But The Rock,
All right.
it's Michael Bay, and I'm not gonna say on steroids, but it's
Oh,
Michael Bay starting to learn what was to be on steroids. That's the
all
only
right.
thing I'm gonna say.
There you go. Yeah, well, we'll add the Dwayne Johnson film to the watch list then. Thank you, Irving. The attempt was made at the pun. Thank you. I'll be here all night. Uh, so I'm gonna go next because why not? I saw a documentary some time ago. It's a thing from this year. It's called The Contestant. It's on Hulu if anybody's interested, and it's a very bizarre thing. It's about a show in Japan in 1998 that randomly chose, people, and they wanted to choose one person to lock them in a room, and they chose this guy named Nesubi, and they chose him to lock him in a room and let him live off of magazine contests. You heard that right. It's bizarre. It was a reality show in Japan that became a sensation in 1998, and the most fascinating thing about that is that it predates reality shows. It's kind of like Survivor, a show that became famous for that concept, except instead of surviving in the wild, he survived in a locked room with with a whole rack of magazines, and he had to read every magazine and mail in all the contests, and he had to lift off the prizes he would win. And it's interesting because it's bizarre, but it also kind of makes you mad because the people who created that show, that was a segment in a show, and it almost felt like they were torturing the poor guy, and it's infuriating, and it's one of those films, those documentaries where it shows you how the world just likes to, I guess, uh enjoy the misery of others. But it's a phenomenon that I didn't know about, certainly, and it's something that I would recommend anyone who'd like to see it. So, you know, I that would be my choice.
Sounds compelling, Chris. I don't know if I'm going to put it in the watch list, but I trust your opinion on that one. I tend to watch some documentaries at the end of the year, so I think that that's one that we should keep an eye on, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it yeah, humans suck. But what can I say? Jose or Joel, whoever wants to raise their hand fastest.
Me. This film I watched recently, uh, it has been described like a pulpy, violent, erotic, queer tale of love and revenge. Um, that is so wickedly entertaining. The A24 film Love Lies Bleeding um with Kristen Stewart, Katie O'Brien, Dave Franco, Ed Harris, Jenna Malone. That film was beyond my expectations. Like a film that I was like so invested about this reclusive gym manager that falls
Yeah.
for this bodybuilder,
Hmm.
ambitious bodybuilder that is pursuing her dream for winning bodybuilding competitions, but their love uh, is pulling them deep into one of the family of one of the main
Hmm.
characters, the Kristen
Yes.
Stewart one. Man, go and see it. It's like
Directed by Rose Glass,
Rose Glass, female
the
director,
yes, the terrific
the
director of Saint Maud.
Saint Maud, another underrated film.
Terrific film.
That
Yes.
terrific, but that's in my opinion. I really love Love Lies Bleeding so much. For me, in my opinion, is better than Saint Maud, but Saint Maud is even close, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like it's a film that it's very well made, thought
yeah,
provoking.
yeah.
But talking about Love Lies Bleeding, it's also one that is boldest in some things. I don't want
Don't spoil
to say
anything.
more details, so yeah, I don't want to spoil, but you all need to see it. This is one of the recent ones of this film
Yes,
from this year, so go and see it. It's really good.
adding to the watch list. But yeah, that's been queued all year from me. Joel,
Well, you were speaking before, Chris, about people being hateful, being. What were you saying about humans?
That humans suck and they like to see other people suffer.
So speaking about humans that suck, I'm gonna recommend a film that actually kind of you know evaluate that. But you have to see it to believe it.
Yes.
It's a little film called Monster, directed by Hirokazu Koreeda,
Hmm.
director of Shoplifters, if you want to know, and many many
Yes.
wonderful films he has done throughout the years. He's one of Japan's best national treasures, if you ask me. Um, and I'm not gonna say much because I want you to see it as with the little knowledge, with the smallest knowledge as possible. Um, so basically, this is a film about a kid that has problems with a teacher,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna
That's
say
kind
that,
of
yeah,
does that is that kind of up your alley?
it is up my alley because I'm a teacher myself. Even though I consider myself more of a tutor than a teacher,
Right.
but yeah, but I watched this one almost back to back with the Teachers Lounge, Germany's submission
Okay.
for the Academy Awards,
Okay.
and it almost gave me you know I wanted to rant about how sometimes the education system fails their students
Yeah,
in some way or another, and both these films work so well in doing that, and in but it also works in reminding us that we are humans and humans make mistakes.
that's
So the
right.
important thing is to learn from those and never do it again and become better people instead of shitty people. So yeah, there's that.
There you go. And there you have it. That was our recommendations for this week, or this episode, that is. So add to your watch list, and everybody, please watch The Rock so Irvin doesn't hate you. So
You know what? I'm gonna tell you all this. Whoever you're talking to, I bet that they had seen it.
you know, you know,
That's my final shot,
you
by
know,
the way.
in the point one version of our podcast, we did an episode about blind spots. I think we should do another one after all these years so we can burn on each other on how many blind spots we have. And trust me, I have a lot of them. So,
Hey, I'm joking. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna expose myself here. I have never seen Incendies from the famous director, and I'm gonna say Denis because Chris is the only one that I think can pronounce that last name as it is. And everybody knows the director from Doom Part One, Part Two, Arrival, and all of those hits. I've never seen Incendies, and I feel
but
ashamed. I
but
feel
but
ashamed
but
to say it.
but that's not one of those. That's not one of those that you kind of need to feel ashamed of. Like, for example, I only saw The Godfather within the last 3 years. That is more of a blind spot.
But you know what, Chris? The fact that you had already seen it makes me very happy.
That's
Contrary to not being able to watch The Rock, which is very quotable. You'll
okay.
never going to be able to replicate somebody saying, "Welcome to The Rock," the way that Sean Connery said. And
Okay.
I am not paying any justice to it.
Okay.
Listen, you're gonna have
Okay.
a blast.
I will. I will cue it. We'll all cue it somehow. Uh, so we're just going to head out the door in a bit, but before that, what's become the staple of the end of our shows, let's do some final shots.
Honk! Forget it! How dare you!
Time to do some final shots. Who goes first? Irvin, go first.
I guess that I'm the one who, who's breaking the ice on this topic. So I'm going to say this without any shadow of doubt. Viola Davis should have more Oscars than Meryl Streep.
Ooh, that is a that's a hefty one.
agree. I agree.
Yep.
But remember, Meryl Streep should have one more than what she has right now, and not for the roles that she won. Just saying. Only one of those
Uh,
are worthy.
you
No
mean
debate.
she
No
must
debate.
have 3, right? Okay, all right. I'm gonna leave it like that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right. All right. All right. Joel.
Well, continuing my trend of critiquing trailers, I believe those trailers must be watched where I watched La Casa de los Famosos finale this week in theaters.
Not on YouTube.
Exactly.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because that's almost the same way music videos were changed, right? It used to be you used to wait for the grand premiere on MTV, and now you only premiere it on socials and YouTube and stuff like that. Jose, what is your final shot?
I think that if Pixar films were ending with bloopers like they did with Toy Story 2 and Monsters Inc. back in the cinemas,
Mm-hmm.
if they will be doing it with all their films, I think we're living in a better world right now. That's my final
Okay.
shot.
So, okay, I can see that. Yeah,
Yeah,
bloopers happen.
I loved those when I was a kid. So I agree. I want more of
Yeah.
those. Yeah.
Should go back to that. Okay, so my final shot, it almost feels like it's 2 and 1, but it's kind of related. For the love of the holiness evil, please watch and support more movies directed by women. And please, the damn industry, stop putting female directors in director jail because of a movie they find subpar, and stop failing upward mediocre male directors. That is my final shot.
Insert 100% emoji. I agree.
It's a phenomenon that I loathe. That could be an episode topic for the future. But not for now. For now, we're leaving. So thank you for listening, and tune in to us next time. We are out. Thanks for listening. Find our episodes on Spotify and YouTube. Also, follow our Instagram for Filmsake Pod.